exactly what took place here.
At 2:14 this afternoon, we had a very challenging fire. Fire was on the 3rd floor that was blowing into the hallways, trapping people above. It was so dangerous that the firefighters had to make 3 rope rescues, which is something very unusual for us to do at one fire. Overall, we had 18 people injured, 5 of them in critical condition, and one of those people in critical conditions, we were just told, passed away at the hospital. This fire was so challenging that it took the second alarm assignment working very, very quickly to rescue all the people that were trapped. So I'd like to turn it over now to Chief Hodges to explain those rope rescues and the rescues that were made in the hallway. Chief.
Good afternoon. The fire was a very challenging fire, as mentioned. We received the call and arrived on scene in 3.5 minutes. The units arrived, there were numerous people on the fire escape, escaping the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and 6th floors. There was a heavy, heavy smoke condition throughout the upper floors of the building. As our members did a survey of the building, they noticed there were people trapped that were hanging out the windows on the side alley up on the 5th floor. We have an evolution for that. It's called the life-saving rope evolution, where our members attach themselves to a rope, and then another member goes onto the rope and goes off the side of the building, goes down to the window and grabs the person that is trapped by the fire. This happened 3 times at this fire. 3 firefighters performed this evolution. We usually have 1 of these a year or 2. This was 3 at one fire. A very heroic action. And all of those people, unfortunately, are in critical condition, but they're at the hospital. While that was going on, we had our engine company moving in the front door of the building and up to the 3rd floor with the hose line. On the 3rd floor where the fire apartment was, we had heavy fire that was blowing out into the hallway from the fire apartment. The fire that was blowing out was blocking off the exit pathway of the occupants trying to escape down the stairs. So as the engine company moved in to extinguish that fire, our ladder company members moved up and went up to the upper floors. Unfortunately, they found 3 victims unconscious on the upper floors of the building. All of the victims were quickly removed and brought down to waiting EMS members who administered advanced life-saving care and took them off to area hospitals. One of the firefighters who went over on the rope is a probationary firefighter with less than 1 year on the job. So he's had quite the introduction into the FDNY. I'm going to pass it off to Chief Fields, who can give us more details on the patients.
Good afternoon. EMS units on scene treated a total of 18 patients. 12 were transported to area hospitals. 5 of those 12 were critical patients. 1 succumbed to their injuries at the hospital. The paramedics, as everybody's saying right now, did a phenomenal job once fire operations brought the patients out to extend life and get people to the area hospital so they can get continued care.
2 officers.
Yeah. Now I want to introduce you to the 2 firefighters who went over, 2 of the 3 that went over on a rope and rescued people from the upper floors of the building.
My name is probationary firefighter Jason Lopez. Upon arrival to the fire, we got reports of victim hanging out of the 4th side of the building. We made our way up to the roof, and once I went over the parapet, looked over the parapet, and showed them not to jump, that we're coming down to rescue them. This is the same drill that we work on every Monday with the truck and every Tuesday with the engine. It all starts back to the FDNY Academy at the Rock, all the training with the rope. I'd like to thank them as well. I'd like to thank the Harlem building as well, 6928, for all the training that we do at the firehouse. We always train like the real thing, so when the real thing happens, we know what we're doing. I'd also like to thank the firefighter to my right, Kato, firefighter Kato, who lowered me, trusting me with my life. This is an evolution that we do every week at the firehouse, and it's just like we train. Thank you. Cuando llegamos al fuego, ellos nos dijeron a nosotros que había gente girándose por fuera de la ventana en el lado 4 del edificio, que es el lado a la derecha. Había 3 gente en la ventana y cuando llegamos ahí notamos que había gente mirando por la ventana y cuando subimos para el rufo le dijimos que no brinque, que lo vamos a rescatar y pusimos la soga de rescate a usar como nosotros entrenamos en la casa de fuego. Todos los lunes entrenamos, todos los martes también entrenamos y el bombero a mi derecha, que se llama bombero Katzo, fue que me bajó. Yo confié con él, con mi vida, para rescatar a la gente que estaban ahí y algo que siempre entrenamos en la casa y soy muy orgulloso por tener la oportunidad. Me siento muy feliz de completarlo. Gracias.
Any questions? Take some questions.
Wings. Hi, I'm Monica. I'm from Wins. So, when firefighters came here, they were doing that rope rescue. Can you describe, I know, Mr. Mayor, you might not be able to go into detail to describe it yourself, but could someone here describe exactly what that looks like? Would we see firefighters coming over from the roof? How does that, what does it look like?
We're going to do 2 things. DJ, see if we can get FD team to put it on your iPad, because we want to be able to show you exactly what took place, because we have a video. So they have it from the helicopter. But
can someone describe that for our radio listeners? Thank you.
So it's called the life-saving rope evolution, and that rope is only used for saving lives. Yes, the firefighters are on the roof. One of them looks over the side of the building and sees where the person is trapped, what window they're at. While he's doing that, the other firefighter is setting up the rope so that they can lower a firefighter right over the roof, down to the window, and grab the person out of the window and take them down to the ground. That's exactly what happened. 3 times today, which is, like I said, very unusual.
So is the patient hanging on, holding on to the firefighter's waist?
Yes, no. I mean, the best way to do it is if we can communicate with the patient, we ask them, put your arms around our neck and your legs around our waist, and we hold on to them very tight, and we just descend down to the ground.
Sir, just a quick question. Sorry, way over in the back. We heard witness reports that one person was hanging from the building and fell to the ground. You may have already given an update, but just to remind, what's the condition of that person? And is that an accurate eyewitness report?
Yes, unfortunately, due to the severity of this fire, one of the victims had to basically jump out the window. They were hanging there for a little bit and they couldn't hold on any longer and fell. This was just pretty much before we got here. They were in the alley on the side of the building when we arrived.
And is that the person who's deceased?
No, I don't know. A person, I can't, it's still that we have to iron out all the details on exactly which of the critical victims was deceased.
That person did survive the fall, at least he was transported.
Yes.
Are the people related in any way who were in these units? Was it multiple units of the people who were rescued on the 6th floor?
The people that were rescued by the rope were all in the same apartment. The people that were rescued from the hallway were from different apartments. We still have to iron out the details on exactly where they came from.
Any children on the ropes?
No.
What about
Are they in the hospital?
Do you have a preliminary cause of the fire?
No, the fire marshals are doing an investigation, and we'll learn about that later.
Chief, we heard, I know it's early for a cause, we heard from multiple residents who had concerns about a lot of e-bikes in front of the building and a lot of batteries being charged throughout. Is there any strong suspicion it could be an e-bike fire?
Not at this time. The marshals are up there now. They're digging around looking for the cause, and we'll know the answer to that later this evening.
And I'm going to thank Borough President Levine for joining us as well. There's from the front of the building, you really don't have an indicator of the severity of the fire, but in the rear you can really see it. But I just want to give you an idea of what these two firefighters, what they did on the rope rescue. We're queued up to the location, DJ. I don't know how well you can see it, but you see the firefighter going over the top.
Is that today?
We had a NYPD aviation unit was in the air, and they were able to take this video. And they also reported to us that they saw people hanging.
Mayor, here, sweet.
We can make sure all your desks get this.
Yeah, we're making it available.
We'll make sure everyone gets this. Does anyone else have any questions? Does anyone else have any questions?
We'll make sure you all get it.
Chief, can you talk a little bit about how difficult it was for firefighters to get inside and get to some of the people?
So on the third floor, one of the apartment doors was left open where the fire was. The fire was so intense, if you could imagine flames coming out that door and blocking off the stairwell. So normally we go directly up to the floor above the fire, but we were even unable to get past those flames. So we needed the engine company to come in and extinguish some of the fire, and they ran up there immediately and were able to find some unconscious victims and remove them as quickly as possible. And they are three of our red tag patients.
All right, any more questions? Okay, thank you everyone.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank God it wasn't me. Hold on, hold on.